B. Howard, welcome to the Collaboration Together Network and Crucial Connections. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. How are you?
I'm feeling great. How are you?
Doing great. Yeah, we
all black people should have drums.
Listen, I worked with a lot of young girls, and they would always say, "Oh, you know, my somebody in their life said don't play the drums." But I find more and more women these days are doing whatever they want, so it's lovely, and it's great to have you here. That was your new single. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So this is my new single, "We Are Champions." It was something that I created a while ago with my friend Vanessa. And we held on to it, and then it's like it originally was meant for our brotherhood between U.S. and China, and like we're really tight like that. And after we held on for it, and then in the midst of everything that's happening globally, we felt it was like it's high time, it's an appropriate time to really release this and uplift the people, and give some people hope and inspiration during this time.
That's great. Is it going to be available? Is it on the download sites or places where anybody can get it?
It's available now on Apple Music, Spotify. Right now, it's been out like about a week and a half, 2 weeks. And it's got 100,000 streams so far. We're getting a lot of big support from different people. I'm just so thankful that they're hearing the message, but we got to get it out to more people. I'm thankful to be here to talk to you about it.
Yeah, that's great.
You guys are, Chicago is really, really, really a tough place. You know what I'm saying?
Tell us about your Chicago connections.
Oh, well, most of my family's from Chicago and Indiana. And, I see somebody talking about they're from the West Side. I work with Lupe Fiasco, and then I also work with Chief Keef. And, I love Chicago. I went to school in Chicago, too. Marva Collins Prep Southside.
Oh, that's exciting. So we have a connection there. I'm very familiar with Marva Collins. I actually was a child actor and was in her movie. So
you were?
Yes. And I was good friends with her daughter Cynthia.
Yeah, wow. And Patrick in the.
Yes. So
Miss Collins was one of the reasons, like, I know a lot of these things and really dive into things with our culture and with expressing myself throughout different cultures is because of Marva Collins and her teachings at the school. And we actually some of us were selected to be in a class 7 habits of highly effective people. And we take us out to school, we read this book, and we have to answer questions about being proactive and reactive and things like that.
Yeah, she was an amazing woman, and really a credit to Chicago. She really put us on the map and really just sort of enlightened us about education and what could be done and what's possible. And and no limits and no limitations on people, and to have raised expectations because we're all capable. So I really did love her message, and so I love that you have that connection to Chicago as well. But you actually, are a recording artist, multi-platinum. You must have gone to LA at some point, or New York, or somewhere. Tell us about your journey from the Midwest and what that's been like. How does that inform your art?
All right, so that's a good question. My journey from the Midwest is kind of like, it's like leading two lives. I had a life in LA, and I had my school in Chicago, but I had different family everywhere. So it was like, LA is very Hollywood and stuff like that too. So I started off, I wanted to do music and things like that, and I only had a certain amount of time. And my mom and my family was just like, kind of sunning me up a little bit. You have a year to do something, whatever. So I started going to everybody's studio and, hiding out at the studio and just learning and shakas, from everybody. And then at the end of my year that I was supposed to do music, I sent my song to Gerald Levert. And they were in the studio, God bless them, I'm saying? They were in the studio recording an LSG album. And Keith Sweat and Johnny Gill didn't come up to the studio. So he was like, "Ivan, what's that CD Brandon sent over?" So he put the CD in, and the next thing you know, I get the placement on the record. And at the end of the year, I was like, "Yeah, got that." And then got some Genuine Records and Drew Hill and that. I was like, I'm good.
Who just drops all those names like that? Quit.
What?
That's like going through like the Motown roster, you know, just like, oh, this person and that person. Like that is remarkable.
Yeah. It's very fortunate to grow up in this community and to have that kind of access to be inspired by other people, you know, that are actually African American celebrities and figures that people could look up to. Those guys are champions to me. You know, they were my champions. A lot of times people ask you, you know, what kind of, you know, I used to say I didn't go to music school or anything like that, but actually credit to all of them. Mickey Howard, the Jacksons, Shaka Khan, Sherelle, Gerald Levert, just everybody. That was my music school. You know, it was a very fortunate thing. And I think at this time, you know, having an opportunity to present my song and present who I am and have my background with me to give inspiration to people coming up and, you know, other musicians and artists that don't have anybody like that to look up to, you know, that have not, you know, had all these problems and stuff like that, with, you know, drugs and stuff like that, to be able to, you know, inspire them and inspire people to do something different with their platforms.
Yeah.
Marcus, I don't know if you're touched by this because you know what it's like to try to inspire people during a difficult time, and we've all been experiencing a lot of difficulty. Maybe you wanted to ask Brandon or B. Howard something about.
Yeah. What up, B? I'm interested in what you might have to say to young leaders growing up now that can help them receive the baton from us old heads and take this thing on where it needs to go. What encouragement do you have for the young leaders?
Take the time to listen. You know, a lot of us, you know, we feel like we know it all, you know, just like every generation before us, we always think that we know everything and that we the top dog. So the main thing is I would say to anybody coming up or even some older people, you know, just take the time to listen and check out the things that they did right. Don't point out what they did wrong. Take the time to receive what was done right. See how you can apply what was done right to what you're doing and fill in those gaps. You're going to make your own mistakes.
Yeah.
You have the knowledge to not make the same mistakes and try to make a progress. You know, that takes listening and paying attention and integrating your own methods.
That's wisdom beyond your years, young man. I'll take that to heart. And so I'll shut up and start listening right now. What's up, Dr. Slick?
Well, B, I was really struck by the video that you of your new single that you were able to share with us. And it got me to thinking about how xenophobia is a part of this, this melange of crap that we're all dealing with. So are you raising your hand? Yes, please.
Can you define xenophobia?
Xenophobia, absolutely. So xenophobia is basically when you hate someone for being from another country. And there's a lot of xenophobia that we have witnessed, especially toward those who might come from China, all related to COVID-19. So people be effed up just because you're from another country, you know? So the video that you showed us and just the little bit of what I, like the video really choked me up after the first few frames, which I was surprised by because I think we've all sort of been glued to our TVs and our devices and listening to the radio, being inundated with information that is completely necessary. But there was something about the way you, the way it was put in that video. I saw a great sense of unity. So I guess what I'd like to know is, have you traveled the world? What have what have you learned from traveling? Even if it's traveling within the States, wherever you've gone, could you share with us what you've learned from travels and how you're not a jerk in that way? You're obviously not a, you're not a xenophobe. So could you just speak a little bit on that?
I think growing up, I was able to travel a lot of places globally and domestically. And what I learned about people is that most of the places they're the same people. You know, we're all the same, and there's a hood in every country. There's like freaking the luxury part of every country. There's different types of people. It's just we're all the same, and it doesn't matter about color, and you know, it doesn't, people's beliefs and what they believe in. Of course, you're going to have people that believe in the same thing, but in general, most people want to achieve a kindness, a different type of bond with each other. They're trying to connect with each other in a different way. And we're mostly taught here in the States to not do so, to a degree. We're taught a lot of things that, you know, are not necessarily worldly, and that prevent us from understanding other people that are worldly in some areas. And it's important for us as a culture, which we are as a culture learning more, and have access to more, and we're doing more. And you know, the majority of us are trying, and we're reaching to that place. And it's a beautiful thing to see more people becoming more worldly, even though they may not understand, but they're learning more of the world, you know, where they're not going to the countries. And some people are actually making efforts to go to Italy. People are saying like, oh, I want to go to so-and-so place, not knowing what it's about, but they're making efforts to go. And once they go, you learn, and you learn more about your own culture, of how we've influenced different places. You know, everybody we took and give. It's an exchange. You know, I mean, I could talk all day about that kind of stuff, because I really love the world. I love people.
I'm the same way. I think that you're either motivated by fear or by love, and
Yeah.
so try to lead with love. I was looking at your tour roster, and you were supposed to be going to a number of places this year: China, Indonesia, South Africa, Europe. You were supposed to be on like pretty much a world tour. So what have you done instead to stay connected to your fans, since you can't be out there performing?
In the interim, it's been more of a communication thing. You know, I'll check in on my fans and stuff like that, but mostly putting this song out and making it available for my fans, and reaching out to them through this way, in a way that I can touch them, and they can know that I'm there with them, that we're all together. And that is not just, you know, I'm not sitting up in my little home and kicking back and in my jacuzzi, some old BS like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm with everybody. I'm here with you, and we need to uplift each other, and we need to uplift other people, you know?
I'm gonna play a little bit of your music because it is very uplifting.
I can tell you how I feel about you night and day. Girl, you gotta know. Take it for a ride. Know you want to fly. Listen to the sky. G5 speed by one call if you're with me. Nothing but time. The home with the diamonds. You could be the chick by my side. Both hands say hi, peace out, but no one does it. I can tell you how I feel about you night and day. So you gotta know that you gotta work for me. I can tell you how I feel.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about right there.
You ever meet somebody and you just want to be their friend immediately? That's what I'm feeling right now. I'm like, I want to be Harris' friend.
Look, that was so awesome. That really fits with Throwback Thursday, because that was a little bit I'll Be Sure, which was, you know, that was kind of our coming of age, you know, music. So what made you do that one again, or, you know, bring that up to the new school?
You want me to be honest, or you want me to tell you the press story? No, the truth of the matter was, So my song was doing well on Billboard. The dance chart, was number 11. It was climbing. And I showed up to BET. You know, I just left VH1 and all, and people going screaming and stuff like that. I showed up to BET. You know, I'm with the homies Neo and everybody. You know, okay. But the people were just like, oh, hey, what up, E Howard? And I was just like, you know. And I worked with a lot of the guys there, and I you know, produced them and stuff. And I was like, damn. I went back home. I was like, gosh, they don't like me or something. What's going on, right? So I called my boy Dez. He came over, and he was like, I was telling him the story, and he's like, since my first record, Dance Floor and stuff, I haven't given anything to the community like that. You know, aside from producing, I didn't give back or anything like that. I just went pop and started going over the world, and I wasn't at home like that. And I was like, you're right. And I was like, what can I do to create something that is for my people, is for the crew, and still stay true to myself and what I do and how I roll and stuff like that. And we was going through some things, and I was like, you know what? You know, I'll be sure as a friend of mine, and like old friend Quincy and all them, and I'll be Junior. So like his anniversary is coming up, and it'll be something special for him if I recreated that song in a way. And then I can still have fun with my people, and it'd be cool, you know? So after we finished the song, and I called LB when I was recording it, and he's like, yo, man, it's good young mogul. And he always says young mogul. So finished the song, and to my surprise, that song, it got its plays, and it got me a Best New Artist award. And I was like, wow. I was just like, wow. You know, and it's a good thing. I felt good about it. And I'm glad my people and the culture, you know, really felt good about it in our culture.
I love that message because it informed you, right? You went someplace, they were like not really checking for you, and then you figured it out, like, oh, I need to do something that gives back. So that's a beautiful lesson in that story. So thank you for sharing that with us. And why don't you share with everybody out there where they can find you, find your music again, and because I know they're gonna want to keep up with you after this.
Okay, cool. To anybody that's looking for me, you can find me everything: Instagram, Be Howard Official, BeHowardOfficial.com, everything Be Howard Official, and I'll be there. Or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, give it up for B. Howard.
Yay!
You guys are great.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
Colgate Smiles, man. Y'all definitely Chicago.
And I'm telling everybody you my cousin. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us.